Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Fan Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
And now for something completely different.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
And welcome to another edition of Reality and Publishing Comics with me, Paul Gomez. How y'all doing this week? It's a little bit of a cold one, and everybody's kind of hunkered in, especially around here in Texas. We see a few snowflakes and kind of close the whole state down, and that's kind of where we're at the moment. Now, I really didn't have too much of a topic ready. I did want to talk about deadlines, kind of collaborating kind of thing. These are a few issues I hadn't really spoke about that much, but I do have a special guest coming, Carissa Grant. She's going to be coming in a few minutes, so we're definitely going to talk about her book. But in the meantime, like I was saying, I did want to talk about collaborations and timelines. One of the things that a lot of people don't expect is those timelines, especially whenever you're the creator and paying for everything. Now, I understand that that means usually you kind of set the guidelines and go with the flow. But thing about it is, if you're going into a project, you should definitely have kind of guidelines set, what your expectations are, so that the artist knows kind of where to hit those points and beats at to continue on. Whenever you're starting a project, just like any project in the world, if you don't have guidelines, nobody's on the same page. So even if you're the creator and you're in charge, it's good to kind of have kind of a schedule of what things are gonna be like. I know whenever I first started, one of my major things was getting the cover pages done first, and I had a group that really wasn't worried about it and didn't really seem to care. But to me, getting that cover page is really essential because if you're going to be putting digital advertisement out there, trying to advertise for the book, you don't need to have all those interiors done. And and he whenever then because for the campaign, it's usually 30 days, but on that first day, you need to have that cover page, preferably all the cover pages done. But it's like as long as you have that one to start out, you can start advertising everything and kind of letting people know what's going on. You have your logo because that's going to be on your cover page, and then obviously your cover A, and that's going to be the one that's going to kind of bring people to you the most. They say that cover pages are what sells, and they are the eye catchers. So whenever you have that cover page, you're going to be able to put it, just plaster it on all your advertisements to kind of keep a continuity. I mean, you definitely want to have that logo out there as much as you can, but having at least that cover A to kind of get people to understand what you're putting out there and what you're bringing to them as merchandise. It's good to have that one cover page at the very least done as soon as possible. Now, I prefer to have all the cover pages done before the any campaigns hit. I know that there's different things that happen, timelines and whatnot. And sometimes you're not really worried about other cover pages as long as you got the first few. But whenever you hit that campaign, you're going to be advertising all the tiers, and some of those tiers are going to have, different cover pages. Some of them are going to have all the cover pages, and you want to make sure you're showing everything that you can. Now, granted, like I said, interior pages, if you have at least 6 or 7 of them done, fully, whether it's going to be black and white but lettered, or if it's going to be colored and lettered, then it's good to have at least 5, 6, 7 pages to put on that campaign to show people what they're going to get inside the book. So those are definite things that I like to talk about. Uh, yeah, and another thing is, I like to talk about everybody getting along and everybody being on the same page, not just timelines, but being able to have that open communication thing. Being able to have an open communication and talk to the interior artist at, whether it's just the lines, whether it's lines inks, and whether it's lines inks and colors, having a communication where everybody knows what's going on and being on that same page, not necessarily meeting that deadline, but as long as there's that communication where everyone feels that they're in sync with everyone else and can open up and talk to them about stuff. Uh, Usually on most of my projects, I've usually had the letterer come in about halfway through and kind of start jumping in. Yeah. Standalone images of the main characters do help. I like to have the character designs on my campaigns to start off with at the very least, showing people again, this is kind of what you're going to be in for. This is kind of what you're going to get whenever the product is uh, is what you're gonna whenever this product's going to come to you. I like to have examples, of course, like I said. Now we got a few people coming in. If we can get our first guest in, there you are. How's it going?
Hi. Good. I'm cold.
Yeah, aren't we all? Doc, how you doing today?
Listen, I'm better now. Pops
Yeah?
was mad at me for streaming over you. I streamed for 4 minutes because I'm going to record it. I recorded it, and I'm going to send it to my city later. Short version.
No problem.
Then I want to talk about what you're talking about.
Sure.
We got hit by the tornado. The city said, put your lumber, trees, stuff in this pile, and the other debris, whatever else in this pile. We did exactly that. And then they wrote me a warning today for having that stuff on the curb.
Oh, that's great.
And my brain went sideways, so I posted about it. But I was going to absolutely, hi Carissa.
Hi, Doc.
I was going to not only agree with you, I was going to say what Katie Shaw said was great. I wanted to, I know you did get mad, Pop, shut up. The full images of the characters, people want to see that, and then some sample pages.
Yes.
And if you're worried about spoilers, just blur out your dialogue or don't include
Right.
the dialogue.
Right.
But they want to see the product. You know, if you're going to back a product, you're going to publish a campaign, people got to see what they're backing.
And one of the things is whenever I go back a campaign, I like to see all the covers. I like to see which one I'm going to be able to choose and pick from because I can't usually afford all of them. So if they got all those images up, then I like to be able to choose that one that I like, whether it is from a friend of mine or whether it's from an artist that I don't know that I'm seeing for the first time. There's a lot of campaigns that you'll go up there and they'll have the image of coming soon. And again, I understand that things happen because that's happened to me on one of my campaigns where the cover art didn't come in until a little bit later. But, it's like some of the new creators don't think about that going in.
I do.
Yeah. Yes.
I just told my artist yesterday, I was like, because he's going away for a month. I said, do you want to start before you leave or do you want to wait? And he goes, no, I'll start before I leave. I was like, all right, we got to do the cover first. And I already ordered the 2 variants for the artist I'm going to do. So I should have all the covers by a month before it even starts. So, because I already know I'm launching my next one April 18th. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
I don't launch until it's done. So
you guys remember, we all know the adage, don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But really, in comic books, the cover is selling you the book.
Yeah.
Because it's a visual medium. And I used to hate it when they'd get like George Perez or John Byrne to do the cover, and then the interior artist is just some hack from the bullpen.
Right.
And it was terrible art. I would be so mad. Like, I felt ripped off. So I haven't seen anybody do a crowdfund where that happens.
Right.
Yes, we have alternate covers, but by doing what you said, Paul, showing some of those internal pages and saying this is who the artist is, that is so important because nobody likes a bait and switch.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the things that I really learned is to put on there, if they do the interior artists do the cover, a cover art, to make sure to post it real big. This is the interior artist's cover. Originally I didn't really put them as my A cover because I felt like I wanted to, spotlight other artists as well. But the main thing is, I do want to have my interior artist do at least one cover. Right. And I want to make sure that I tell the people, hey, this is their cover. This is my interior artist doing the cover. Now, just because they might not do that A cover all the time doesn't mean that I'm not going to have them do a cover. And I want to make sure that people see that.
Right.
And that's always a good thing to do is make sure that people understand and know who those covers are coming from, especially if it's an interior artist.
Agreed. 100%. Let people know what they're getting. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't bait and switch. And by the way, look at our art.
and those cover art. I mean, those are so beautiful and so bold. And again, cover pages sell. They sell the book. So I mean, knowing that, it's kind of like, okay, so I know this is going to sell the book. So I want that interior art to be shown as well. You're not standing there holding that book and flipping through it like you are at a convention or a bookstore. So on the campaign, you got to make sure to show those interior pages.
Exactly.
And I know Carissa does a great job of that. How many pages did you put on your campaign?
Probably way too many. I did 4 from each issue. I would too. 4 from each issue I did, and the cover and the 4 pages. Yeah.
Katie, Carissa, your book is complete. Chaos and Carissa tried to come out of my mouth at the same time. So apparently, chaotic Carissa is Katie. Do with that what you will. Your whole book is color, correct?
Yes, it's a color on 80-pound glossy paper. Because I'm psycho.
Yeah.
That's a heavy page. Think about a page that weighs 80 pounds.
The heaviness of all the covers that people do.
Yeah.
So it's the standard cover. But I have a very dark book, and it just looks so beautiful in glossy. It just and my artist got the most amazing color palette, and it just needed glossy. I mean, when I do the prequel, it might be on lighter paper and not glossy because it's more retro kind of. I haven't decided yet, but I know I got told, everyone's like, oh, it's your first book, you should do it in the lesser pages because it's like cheaper, and I was like, but it's so pretty.
She's Mr. Grant from Jurassic Park. I spared no expense.
Yes.
I am. Yeah, it's better to be lucky than smart because everything I do seems to be stupid. But
well, no, I think everything you've done was very smart.
You're the only one. I got told off by like 8 people for redoing one, and I was like, and I fought it so hard.
Listen,
I didn't want to pay for it, but
I agreed with every step you have done was the right call to make.
Thank you, Doc.
And it shows. I mean,
yeah.
Look,
everyone seems to love it. So
I just had to go let Luna out, right? She wanted to go out, so I go out with her and I go check the mail, and I come back in, and first we have mail.
All right.
It's the Forsaken Future Kickstarter poster. Woo!
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, was that the outside of the envelope or the inside?
That's from
outside.
Doran.
That's
Doran
awesome.
Colton.
That's what?
White Fire Comics,
cool
Doran.
things.
Okay. The question was though, was that the envelope?
Yeah, that's a.
I like that. I know why you're asking, Carissa, because hey, we need to do that too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
I know there's
So I go out. Well, let me tell this story real quick because I took the dog out. That was what got me outside. Luna takes off about halfway across the yard. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, what's your problem? And I look across the street and there's a deer standing there. Deer doesn't care dumb shit nothing about that dog. Ain't scared, just like kind of walking like DJ. I'm like, Luna, you better come back here. That thing gonna kick you right there.
Yeah. My dog knows not to run.
They're right there. They're all the time. There's deer all over the place. Man, it's like
actually that's a lie.
I can't think of a better place to live. Right?
Chris, I've got a question for you. Yeah. When you opened the stand-up banner behind you, it was the wrong one, and you had reordered it. Did you get the new one?
Okay, funny story. So remember how I told you I was yanking on it, and my husband and I were pulling on it, and the stem wouldn't go up higher, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There was an effing lock on the thing. It does get higher.
Wow.
But what happened was when the new one came, I got a new one. And when it showed up, I was yelling that it was still the wrong size. And I was on the phone, and I wasn't being mean because it's not their fault. But I was saying, listen, I don't know how this happened again. I called up and I told them that the stem doesn't go up any higher, and I can't figure it out. We pulled on it, we yanked it, nothing works. So she's like, all right, we'll order you another one. And while she was hanging up, I hit something and it snapped. And I was like, oh, shit. And it snapped up. And it was really hard to get it up. I know that you don't want to hear, but whatever. I felt like that, but
I don't have that problem. Chris.
Okay, good. So I was like, fuck. So I called her back and I was like, do not send me another one. I got this to work. However, if you need me to pay for the first, because it's my fault. If you need me to pay for the first one, I would, because I didn't know. I said, but in my defense, your customer service should have told me there's a lock on it, because when you get it, it's 2 pieces. You snap it together. So why would you snap it together and then make it bigger? And she's like, well, there's no way for me if I have you pay. And I was like, well, I ain't gonna push the issue. I was like, okay, well, and then she goes, she's about to hang up, and she goes, so where's the lock? I was like, well, at the very top, there's this weird, I thought it was like a plastic reinforcer, but you pull it off and then you have to push it up and then it goes up. And she goes, okay. And she like wrote it down. But so now I have 2.
That's awesome.
I was like, why did they do it again? So yeah.
I'm glad I asked, because that's a good story. That's a good story. I'm not going to let you forget that, Carissa.
No, I will never forget it. I felt so stupid when I was literally on the phone with her, and I'm glad I didn't yell at her, because I would have been even more upset. But I was just like, I even said to her, I was like, I don't know how they did it again. Like, how do you? And it's the same size that the smaller one would be. So that's why I was thinking, I'm just like, this is awful. But yeah, apparently it does. It does. So whoops, my bad. But now I've got 2. So
well, that's not a bad thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting another one. I'm getting another one made, and so that one I'll make sure I can open it all the way. I'm getting one with Anubis fighting my deer demon, so I'm excited about that.
And I know that's for you to take to cons. What cons have you got coming up?
Oh, I got 10. They're all like local, but I have a small one the day before my birthday. So at the end of this month, February 25th, it's local. It's like 20 minutes from my house. Then I have one in Gatlinburg the next weekend, which is 1 day. These are both 1 day cons. Then I went to the largest one, which is Lexington, which is 4 days. Like, I didn't know it was 4 days. Like, damn. So I have that in Lexington, Kentucky. And then I have Huntsville, Alabama in April. And then June is Nashville and some local con. That's like a small gaming thing. Then the rest are in Tennessee. So they're all, I have a creepy con. So I have a horror con. Some Franken con, which I'm super excited about because James O'Barr will be there and I want his autograph. And then I have Fanboy in Knoxville. So I've got 10, like a lunatic. So
well, that's good.
Yeah,
it's good to get out there.
If I don't die of I'm exhausted just thinking about it. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
See, this to me, this is something that freaks me out. Okay, so every one of them cons has a table charge.
Yeah,
and you got to pay for all this shit up front.
Yep.
Yes. Well, I'm not expecting to get it back. I'm just.
Well, see, but this is what the
You
point I'm
need
trying to make
you
is
need
for
to
new
expect
people
that.
coming in. It's like you don't just go to a con. It's like if you plan out the con season, you're going to be out of pocket a lot before you ever see anything coming back.
I paid for all 10. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I only need hotels for 3 at least. So that's
something. Hey, Jeff.
It's all a large undertaking, man, and you go out of pocket a lot to hit the con circuit and be relevant on the con circuit. You got to pay out some money.
My goal was to do as many as I could this year to see which ones were worth doing next year, because I doubt I'm going to do 10 every year. So unless I make a killing in Alabama, it'd probably be the one I drop. I only did it because when I was at the Chattanooga con talking to people,
Alabama's where you're going to meet RJ.
Am I? in Alabama? Well, I heard that one of the creators there said they made more in 1 day in Alabama than they did at any of the other cons in 3 days. So that's why. And I had to pay extra. So it better be good. because the artist alley was booked, so I had to pay $350 for a vendor table.
Vendor table.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay, so
I was
you
like,
did that.
that's
Okay,
good.
now this is what you do. You get a hold of people like Paul and Laurie, and you get copies of their books to throw on your table too.
Yep.
And you vend.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
you
It's
sell
a
books.
table. I need something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get as many of your friends as you can to send you some copies, so you got stuff on your table. You
All
know,
my friends are in this chat.
Well, and I've been talking to you about it. You know,
Yeah.
we've been talking about getting other merchandise to sell at your table, so
look,
you can have
there are a
other
bunch
stuff.
of people. There are a bunch of people. Sam Quentin has stuff that he would send you. You know, RJ's probably got a bunch of extra overstock laying around that he'd love to be able to off, but he can't do it from there until Alabama Comic Con.
For yours that are later in the year, I will be glad to send you some pariah,
Awesome.
because
See what I'm saying?
apparently there's a market for big titty witches. I'm just saying.
And this is the whole thing. If you guys all network together and help each other sell books, look, Paul, you know what my goal was earlier. You know what I was trying to put together. You guys can still do that. It doesn't have to be me.
Right.
Carissa, have you looked at Dragon Con?
They won't let me in. They told me I'm not known enough. I'm not good enough. So yeah, I asked
that a lot.
like 4 people.
Not even a vendor table?
Hold up now. This is where you get with somebody that you know is already there.
I don't know anyone there.
Look, I'll bet
I
you do.
promise
You
you,
just
between
don't know
us,
you do.
We do. In our group, somebody's going to know somebody.
That's what I'm saying. You probably do. You just don't know it. You find somebody you could split a table with, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they would. I'd
So,
love to
I
go.
mean, obviously that changed because I did Dragon Con in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I shared, back then there was the big 3, which included Image, and then there was an artist alley for indies, and then there were the vendor tables.
No, I asked all 3 because I emailed and I messaged on Facebook and I said, I am new. I said, so is there any chance I'm getting in? And they said no. They said,
yeah.
They said no. They said,
okay, bye-bye.
Yeah. I was like, even a vendor? She's like, no. It gets juried. It's like not first come, first serve. You get juried. And so
they got a lot of people that apply.
Yeah.
They got tons of people that apply. It's like C2E2. You're not just gonna get in.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have something behind you that says, "Hey, y'all want me." I
eventually want to get into Dragon Con, and then I eventually want to get into New York City because I'm from New York, so I want to go there. But
Philly does a good one. Cleveland does a good one. The one Pop goes to, the Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids pretty good.
Next year I'm going. Good. Next year I'm going to Texas because Laurie.
Hell yeah!
Well, I mean that's where half of you guys hang out is down there.
You got Paul, you got Laurie,
Joe and Joe Alvarado's down. Everybody's.
Well, Laurie wants me to move there.
Andrew Mangum. There's a whole bunch of y'all down there.
But there's also Carissa, Savannah Comic Con here in Georgia that you can get into, and it was big.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Savannah's far though. Savannah.
Pop was there, and he can tell you about the foot traffic, but the facility was very big. It wasn't the Civic Center.
Yeah, it was right across from where the paddle boat parks.
Yeah.
You know, the big one.
Just off of River Street.
Yeah.
Which is a very big deal. And by the way, Carissa, a great vacation spot.
Except for the sand fleas.
I've never been there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Except for the sand fleas. You want to go inside when the sun's going down. Just go inside.
You're wearing Skin So Soft. That's all you got to worry about. And I warned you, Pops, get Skin So Soft.
But always
when a bunch of smothered fleas all over me either, dude.
Whenever you're going to these cons, make sure you go talk to the showrunners. Make sure you thank them for everything that goes on. Usually, I try to give them at least a gift of one of my issues. You know, something a little bit extra because that helps you not only with build a rapport with them, but if you're trying to get into another show that they're doing, that helps you as well. I got lucky. My first time around, I went to New Orleans Fan Expo, and it was because a lot of people were kind of dropping out of it. And because I went and I was talking to the showrunners, they actually got me in Dallas Fan Expo as one of the first.
That's what I was going to
people.
say. They know each other.
And the fact of the matter is, they had so many people for Dallas Fan Expo. I know that they had told like half the people I know that they couldn't accept them in, but they had gotten me in because of whenever I went to New Orleans and
awesome.
I talked to them. And and like I say, just go up there and say thank you and be nice to them because they're putting in the time and effort
and
for all of it.
And ask them to put in a word for you at Dragon Con or wherever, because these people do know each other. They network.
Yeah,
they want to know who the problem children are, who were the good ones. They know these things. Yeah,
I am not a problem child. I'm awesome. I'm going to be terrified because originally my husband was going to come to Lexington with me, but I think it's better if I do it by myself because I think I'd be embarrassed talking with my husband there. But
speaking of being awesome, your campaign did fund.
Yes, I'm weary on two people that bid.
But it did fund, so that's a great thing. You're moving on to the stretch goals. Where are you at the moment?
If no one cancels like I'm worried they're going to, then the first so the electronic bundle just got
awesome. That's
opened?
Awesome.
So I have to post that out.
And how close are you to the second bundle? Where are you from that?
I think I'm like 340 away.
Now, Carissa, are you gonna move the campaign over to Indiegogo and have a run?
I mean, I might. Everyone I know already bid on this one, so I don't know if I'm going to get anyone over there. But
there's a whole nother audience over there that will only buy from Indiegogo for whatever reason. Yes,
okay.
And by the way, they don't do that. Once you fund, the money's yours.
I hate that bullshit. I told them I did a survey today very adamantly, and I said, and every time I can type anything out, I put take the funds out immediately and don't let people refund. Or I mean, I understand the refund's just my heart attack thing because last time I had 3 people, but the biggest thing is the funds. Take the funds out right away, and if it doesn't reach goal, you refund it. What the hell's the difference?
Right.
So,
right.
It makes me pissy because last time I got lucky, and hi.
And this is my son right here.
Oh, geez. Tell him to turn off his.
Dylan, turn off YouTube.
Dylan?
What?
Turn off YouTube.
What do you mean?
Mute your YouTube tab on whatever device you're using.
I don't think it's on.
It's on.
Can't.
He said, damn. You got that figured out? Now say something.
Say something.
Now we can't hear you.
Now we can't hear you. Your mic's not on.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't on at all.
There it is.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Blame me. Why don't you? How dare you?
Ah!
What's going on, Dylan?
I'm currently in death because. Okay, that's better.
You're currently what?
My headphone was on max volume, so I couldn't hear properly.
I'm not cool enough for headphones.
Dude, I'm so glad I don't have to wear my headphones. Now, if I want to run my air conditioner, I have to use my headphones because the AC's right there.
What is it for? Just so you can hear better? Like, I don't understand what they're for.
The headphones and mic combo actually does a better sound when you're broadcasting.
And it also helps with all the noise around here. I have my kids running around, so it kind of usually keeps that a little bit lower. That's one of the reasons I
honestly, I have no idea how I sound on video because I find myself cringy to watch. So I don't know how I sound, but I could get a microphone. I don't have a lot of noise unless my cat's outside yelling at the door. But
No, you've been pretty good. We can hear you real good, and you don't hear that much in the background.
The headphones for me though give me a skull bending headache.
Yeah,
so when I ordered my new webcam, that it had a built-in mic, I was like, yes.
I assume there's a mic in here because I don't have one. I actually bought one, and it's open, and it's here on the floor, but I have yet to use it. So it's like the globe thing.
Oh, fancy.
See, look, yeah.
Well, hook it up. There's no time like the present.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm sure it requires some kind of thought process. But I'll probably, by the time I figure it out, my campaign will be over and we'll be on to the next one. But I have my campaign is all. My next campaign is April 18th, and it's going to launch on Laurie's show.
So on this campaign, you got 1 through 3. What's the next campaign going to encompass?
I'm going to do one issue because I think I get screwed when I do more than one. Because people I keep saying bid because I'm messed in the head, but they pledge the same amount, so I think that I would lose more money. But I wanted to get 1 through 3 out because 1, they were there, and it kind of it was supposed to be 2, and then my artist finished 3 like in a blink of an eye, and then of course I went back and did 1, so I'm like, well, so 1 through 3. So the next one's going to be 4, but knowing my artist, it'll probably wind up being 2, and then I'll get screwed in that too. But he's so freaking fast. So, I mean, he does like 3 pages a day. So it's like, it feels
Holy
like,
cow.
Yeah, he does like instant. It fulfills my instant gratification quota, but my wallet is not as happy. So it's like a weird balance. But I can't say no because I'm like, more pages. So, yeah, it's quite an addiction. I'm addicted to the obsession of my story. So, but yeah, so definitely issue 4, and we'll see what else happens. He's just too fast. I don't know if people would pledge if I did it every month, so I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely think you got to have a little bit of time in between, at least a month or 2.
Yeah. So it's probably going to wind up being 2 issues each time because my artist is just too. I mean, he takes him like 3 to 4 week stops. I met him November. Let's see. I started my campaign October 30th, so 31st. So I met him somewhere in that time frame of November, the first week of November. And what month is it? And he's done all 3. So, yeah. So he's. And we fought a lot during 2, so there was a lot of like arguments, and it was slower and blah blah blah. But now he knows the character, and he's like, "Bam, done." So I'm like, it's awesome, and I hate it at the same time. But,
Part of the process.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I'd rather, well, if I'm in a different location at one point, it's because I sold my house to make more comics. From the background, some hotel or something somewhere.
So I've been hired by a writer to do some pages for him. And apparently he's not used to the same process I'm used to.
Right.
Again, back in the day, Pariah's mine. I'm the writer. So before that, it was, I got a script in the mail and then I started work, Well, this guy's like, he starts telling me the story and I'm like, that's cool. Send me the script. That's cool. Send me the script. That's I don't care if you draw it in stick figures and send it to me. Send me a script. And he goes, well, now, do you think we should blah, blah, blah? I'm like, why are you asking me all these questions about your story? So what I told him was, you got to think of it this way, dude. I am a contractor coming in to build the house that you have designed.
Right.
You got to give me the floor plan.
Yeah.
And then I will
the blueprints. Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
Dude, I don't know. Somebody's told somebody that I'm a good writer, and now I've got like 4 people asking me to write their story. I was like, isn't it your story? Like, why am I?
Well, and there's a bridge between being a writer and a comic book writer. Here's the thing. It's like, whenever me and the kids were thinking of our story of Bushibu Circus Mysteries, it was going to be a book originally. So we wrote it in book format. Then we at one point were thinking about making it a TV script. So I had to learn how to do TV scripts and storyboards and whatnot. Then we decided, hey, and I think Dylan decided, why not make it a comic? So then I had to figure out the process of learning how to script, how to figure out pages, how to figure out establishing shots, panel flow, beats in the stories that are different than regular stories.
I still have to write in novel form. I did a chapter last night. I had an hour, so I wrote 1,000 words for a chapter in the spinoff. And I mean, it's always going to be in a novel form. A spinoff is it's.
And see, as a penciler, if you sent that to me, I could work with that.
Yeah.
I did have somebody I sent my story to randomly message me, and they sent me 6 pages that they paneled from my story without asking me. And he's like, I will draw your whole book for free. And I was like, no, I only pay my artist. He's like, I don't want to get paid. I was like, well, I don't want to share my book with you. I don't know what to tell you. It was good, but it didn't look how I wanted this was before I got my artist, but he was really good, but it didn't look like my characters.
And you know, I tell writers, you know, if you're going to send just a story to an artist, you're going to kind of be at their mercy. They're going to determine where those page turns are, or where those panels are going to flow the way they want them to. This is why you got to kind of learn how to script write, because learning how to panel flow is kind of an art in itself. And when to change that page is a dramatic turn that, I mean, you can leave to your artist if you trust them, and that's great if you do. But if you're going to be working in a certain field, don't you want to learn everything there is about that field?
Yeah, I script mine. Yeah. I have to convert them, so I have to write the stories first. Even when I had added a fight between the angel and the demon, their fathers, and I knew it was only 2 pages, but I had to write it as a novel first, then script it right away. Like I can't write it as a script, because I write the emotions and the dialogue, and then I say hell with it and figure it out later. So that's how I do it. So I can't just write a script, but I do write a script for my artist, and I feel like I shouldn't bother, because I'll have 3 panels now and he'll turn them into 7. So I'm like, why don't I just send you a whole straight thing? How you want to do?
Well, that goes back though to the very old argument. This was going on when I was working, of script first versus plot first. Marvel method was the plot first, and they would say to the artist, all right, here are the things that are going to happen in the book. Here's the overall story, break it down. And then you'd send it back to the writer, and he would script it around the panels. DC would send in panel 1, establishing shot, looking blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that method.
That's how I was taught for the 20 minutes I taught myself. That was how I taught myself from videos, how to do it like a movie script kind of thing. But what happened was my artist, that's why we were at each other's throats for the first issue we worked together. And we were very stubborn people, and we both had our vision. And of course my husband's like, tell him you paid. I was like, shut up, we'll figure it out. So we kind of both yielded, because I said, listen, if I will spread out the panels and the pages, if you follow the script perfectly, I said, but if you want to do more, you can do the pages for free, and I'll pay to print them. And he agreed. So generally he follows my script more. But I'll do, like, I had 6 panels originally. Now I went down to 3, and he sets the action into like 3 to 7 panels. Like he'll just do his thing. And I've gotten very good feedback from his panels, because they're like all over the place. And I thought that they were crazy, and everyone loves them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's one of the things I always say. It's about a communication. Sometimes there's a give and take that you have to understand. Me as a writer, I love to learn everything that there is to, whether it's that panel being placed in a certain spot, or whether it's turn pages and whatnot. But I also feel that there's a challenge whenever somebody has a comic that's already drawn, and then I can actually write the script afterwards. So that's a challenge in itself, but it's not something I'd want to do every time.
I'll give you an example. There's a scene that I've been asked to do. Guy is on his motorcycle, and he's riding down the road, and a portal opens up in front of him, and he drives through it, and he comes out on the other end, and he crashes into a swamp. Well, my immediate thinking was, if I'm on my motorcycle and I see something like that open in front of me, I'm going to dump the bike, lay it down, wreck something, and then maybe tumble through.
Yeah.
I thought that would be more dynamic. And he was like, oh.
It took
But that's
some.
because as an artist, I'm thinking visual, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's why I gave him more freedom, because this might be his first job, but he knows, you know, we do fight about it. I think the only thing, and I don't know why he can't get this, the only thing that I have to always watch him on is he'll do dark on dark, and you literally cannot see the two things separately. I'm like, you have to make this lighter. You have to see it. It blends right into it. So that's the only thing now that I have to get him to correct. But otherwise, I give him the freedom. I said, I'll give you, these are the 3 panels I need on this page, and you can do whatever you want with them.
There you go.
Sometimes they're 3, sometimes they're 7. It's whatever he does it perfect now. And I think after 2, he knew what to do. So 3 and 1.
That's the compromise, Carissa.
Yeah, that's
the
what
whole industry kind of hit on.
Yeah.
Was, you know, script first is micromanaging the artist. Plot first is giving the artist too much liberty.
Yeah.
So why not say, on this page, I need at least 1 panel here doing this, and these are the other 2 things that have to happen. You can do whatever else you want.
Yeah. Because if I gave him complete freedom, I swear to you, he would have like 400 pages. Like, so I said, that's why I said, listen, I will tell you what needs to be on the page, and you do whatever you want with it. And the next one, also I learned better his style. So when I went back and redid the script, I was picturing his panels in my head.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the next one is the first one I technically wrote after he started, because I had already had the 3 scripts written. Now I have 7 for book 1 all done, but I kind of know how he writes, how he draws. So the very beginning of issue 4 is them pretty much having an all-out fight in a bar. So I was thinking of him, how he punches and everything, and how Sierra kicks ass and all that stuff. So hopefully it'll be a pretty good fight.
And that's one thing that I tell people. It's like, if you're writing, you do have to write for the artist.
Yeah.
Whenever I first started, I didn't exactly understand that. You know, I always thought that, you know, whatever you wrote, any artist is going to be able to draw.
Yeah.
But whenever I started working with my first artist, San Espina, he did such a great job that I started writing for his style. And this 3rd book that I'm got coming out, Prelude to Aurora, the entire script was made for his style. Because me and him kind of got talking and understood where we're both going from. So that first book was kind of more mine, but this is more the collaborative effort that kind of came from that second book.
There you go.
Yeah, well, my first 2, see, that's why I didn't really know. My first 2 artists, I literally just gave them a script and it came back. But it was just, how to say, like an average presentation. It was literally just if I had 4 panels, there were 4 equal panels on the screen, which was really boring because I was trying to make it less panels for them to do their thing. And it kind of went to, now it's just 4 and 4 and 4. And I was like, well, that's kind of boring. So I had to learn with him, you know, and he had to learn with me because I'm the crazy wench with all the weird details in the background that he's like, does this have to be here? And I was like, yeah, the big word important after it. Yes, that means it has to be. So, like, and I don't understand what, every time I wrote important, I'm going to stop writing important. The 3 major times he missed it, I wrote important. So I don't know what he was thinking. Like, does important mean a different word? Maybe, I don't know.
Oh,
and it could be. See, so what I do is I highlight the things in my scripts. You know, panel 1, it needs to have like a wig of a clown that's sitting beside the bed. I like highlight that area to make sure they understand that needs to be there because it's important to the story.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be important to the page or that panel itself, but understand that somewhere down the road that's an important feature that needs to be there.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't usually put an emphasis or you know, like I said, I highlight it in a different color so they can understand that's what I need.
Yeah, maybe I'll try a different color. It was just so funny because like I said, the most important thing is these have to be lit candles because it starts a fight. I mean, starts a fire, and it came back with bulbs. I was like, no, it has to be fire because it starts a fire. And I was like, make sure there's a balcony because they have to climb the balcony. And he forgot the balcony. I was like, okay.
Right.
And then there was something else. There was like, it's very important. And then he missed that too. Oh, I said Draven cannot be looking out the window because he cannot see her get hit by a car because he has to know thinks she died. So the first he drew her looking out the window. I was like, no, he cannot be looking out the window. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna write the word important ever again. It'll have to be. But I think it helps with me is that I wrote the entire book already, the 5 books, so I know what has to be seen for later. Like in the first panel, I know what has to be around the place in 5 issues, you know?
Right.
So I think that kind of helps. And I still have to go back sometimes, like, oh, he's reaching for this. Oh, I forgot to say this is in the corner. Because when you're writing a book, you don't have to really think about what has to be where. But yeah, so it's new. I have to go back and reread my scripts now that he has to do the next one. But at least my book 1 is scripted out. So hopefully by the end of the year I'll have my first graphic novel, which it's 230 pages. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think I love graphic novels. Like I love comics, but I've always loved to hold that graphic novel. So I'm excited to have that. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a growth process for a team to get together and invest enough, like you said, enough arguing, enough tears, enough frustration. I tell my art students at the school I teach at, anybody can learn to be an artist if you're willing to shed the tears. Because there's gonna be tears.
Yeah.
And it goes for writing as well, because I mean, not every story, not every book is going to be for everybody. There's always going to be people who have their opinion about things. So, I mean, if you get that negative feedback, just let it go and then go on to the next one. Find that other fan. You know, like a pitcher in baseball, don't think about that last pitch. Go on to the next one. Whether it's a strikeout or whether it's a home run that you threw, go on to the next one. You're looking to build your fandom. You're looking to tell your story to as many people as you can. Yeah.
I'm just glad I found this artist, and I'm glad, and this is gonna sound awful, I'm glad I didn't listen to my husband, because he told me, do not keep this artist, he's going to drive you crazy, because I was so stressed during the first issue, and I was like, no, he's the artist, he was meant to do this. Shut up, just listen to me bitch and let me bitch, because it's gonna, and I told him, I was like, listen honey, I love you, I am gonna bitch every day until this is organized. But yeah, and I'm gonna complain, but I cannot fire my artist. He was meant to do this. He draws my characters exactly where we're in my head. So fortunately, I stuck it out. Yeah. And now now my husband, all I say is, I'm so lucky to have my artist, and all he says is, then stop yelling at him. I was like, I'm not yelling at him.
It's a lively debate.
Yes. My wife says to me, and this is the most supportive I think it's possible to be. She says, I'm not an artist. I'm not a writer. You do you.
Yeah.
Having spoke about your campaign, we should show a little bit of it off.
Me? Ooh. I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, well, you are, and your campaign is going, and it's funded and on the way to the next stretch goal. So let's see some of it. I'm sure other people want to see some of it.
So big.
Yeah, I mean, someone last night bid, stop saying bid. One person pledged last night $400 for plushies. So I was like,
nice.
I was like, because I'm horrible. I will keep it open while I watch TV, and I'll refresh it if I need to. And so I had just been refreshing it like nonstop for like 5 seconds straight. And then all of a sudden I put it down, and all of a sudden it's like, it's a disease. But it hadn't changed for like hours, and then it changed and went up 100 and something, and I was like, oh, my client must have bid, which he did, and I was like, it's about time. And bid, and then I put it down thinking that's it, I don't know anyone else that's going to bid today, and then all of a sudden it jumped to 1664, and I was like, who the hell is on there? I don't know this person, so it makes me weary, because I that's a lot of money to spend on my campaign. But
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
No, people like plushies. Look,
Yeah,
people like plushies. They can resell them maybe for even more than you. They might look at it and go, "Man, I can get more than that. I'm gonna buy some of those and sell them." You don't know.
One of everyone. He bought, and he even bought the two. I have 2 rats, and they're not even from the story.
Did you say he got one of every one? Then he's probably a collector.
Yeah, and then but he got one of like I have. This is Apollo. He's from he's the rat guardian from the prequel. And he got one of laying down and one. I'm like, it's the same rat, but okay. Not gonna argue. But yeah, so he must either collect them or I don't know. But,
if he got one of every one, he's a collector.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So
you know.
So yeah, so that's my first plushie sales, and then my client bought the one with the first Anubis bust. So, and I get to drive it to him, so I don't even have to pack it. So it's awesome. All my clients are my favorite.
There's nothing better than hand delivered goods
from
a comic creator. I've been lucky enough to have a few things that I got actually from them when I met them in person, and there's nothing better. You know.
I have at least 7 that I hand deliver, 7 or 8 that I hand deliver. So those are great.
I had Adam Fields do a commission for me, and then he came to a group meetup from a previous group that I was in, and a bunch of us all went there and hung out and met in person and stuff, and he actually brought the commission to me and gave it to me in person. It was
nice.
Awesome.
I just found out
right there. It's right there on my wall.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize that I can get the original art. I mean, I haven't done variants before. Ian Chase Nichols is sending me the original ink. He colored it digitally because I couldn't afford the watercolor, but he sounded very not happy that I was getting it. He's like, usually I like to keep my art. And I was like, then what'd you offer it for? I have that one. And then Fabio that worked on Mary Machine Gun, he's doing one for me. And I'm buying the original from him. He's trying to talk me out of him penciling it, but I was like, no, pencil your own work. I mean, ink your own work. So he's mailing me that. And then Fernando is doing Fabio. Is that how you say it?
Fabio? Yeah.
He's doing a cover. And then Fernando from Mary Machine Gun is doing
Fern cord. You got a fern cord cover? Oh, yeah. Fern cord's awesome.
He'll send you the original if you pay for shipping. Because I was like, can I buy the original? He goes, if you pay for shipping. I was like, yeah. Like, oh, yeah. I'll pay for shipping. So I'm excited to get those 2. So those are my 2 variants for the next one. So
yeah, fern cord is awesome, man. If you guys don't know the Mary Machine Gun, look, that whole crew over there is badass.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford the other one, the
Mariah
John.
Bennis.
Yeah,
they're all good.
He was like 750, and it's worth it. I just don't have it. But yeah, he does one of my favorite color. He did one of my favorite covers with the black armor. It looked amazing. But yeah, maybe someday when I'm raking in the big bucks. But yeah, so I'm excited to see the covers. So, but more so for book 2 because I have the coolest monsters in book 2, but I guess I have to get there first. I'm like, book 2 has the deer demon, it has the ghost, it has the large salamanders and the salamander in the armor, and some other monsters thrown in there. But the best, it's awful. I want everything now. Like I just want to I want everything to show up now. Like book 3 is all the zombies and monsters in one whole 7 issues, and I'm like, I want that now. This is why I don't mind that my artist is so fast and I'm going broke at the same time, because I want everything now.
All right, let me see if I can show this off, because again, I'm bad with the controls on this. Hit present. What do I do? Share screen.
You're asking the wrong.
How does this go again?
That's Pops. He's the only one that knows.
Screen. And then it's going to give you a drop-down window.
Drop-down menu. Pick the tab you want to show. If there's audio, make sure you click that little box down in the bottom left-hand corner of the window. If it's just a picture, it's easier to just load it into the actual.
Is that there? Did it work? There we go.
Oh my.
Yeah, see, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I told you it was gonna blow up after you got funded." She said it was all one person.
I was like, it's all two people. But yeah.
That's awesome.
no,
45 backers,
How
21
many
days left
backers
to go.
did you have when you got to 1,000? You had like 31 or 32 or something like
I think I had 33 because it was just
that.
the
You
same as
picked
the
up some
first.
backers since that's what I meant. It's like once it gets funded and people know they're going to get the book, they're more apt to push that button.
I've had a lot of people do the PDFs, which again are like my favorite because I don't have to do anything. So I like.
And you can read that summary of each issue right here. You got all 3 issue summaries right there. Then you got the covers that are coming up. Redemption issue number 1, chapter 2, and then 3 right there. And then you got that variant right there from Ian Chase Nichols. This is a beautiful, beautiful variant.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make most of my covers with that.
You got your warning right there, and you got a few of those interior pages, which look beautiful. There you go.
He does so good with the color. It's so like 90s-esque.
This is a great thing. It shows an example of what they're going to get whenever they do on each issue right there. So they can see exactly what they're getting from the issues that they do decide to back up.
Everyone loves that page.
Yeah, beautiful page right there with the Anubis.
Yeah.
And that's one of the characters you got a plushie of. And look at that page right there. Is that a cathedral that they're in? A church?
Yeah, it's like a hidden church in the back.
That's awesome.
Evil church, chaotic evil church.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very confused church. They just listen to whoever talks to them, and so kind of bad.
This is really good stuff, guys. Look, the first book was good. Okay, it was good. I have it. I read it. I liked it. You're gonna like it. Get down.
You've added a lot of pages on there.
Yeah, it should be 4 each. Oh, I added the shower scene because one of the Richard from Charter Comics was like, "That's eye candy." I'm like, sure, whatever. And then of course,
but if that's all there is, then it's like you gave it up in the trailer. You know, like the movies, they'll give you the best scene in the movie in the trailer, and then it's like, what did you do that for? Or they'll give you a really good scene that doesn't even make the movie.
And here you got the
cutting room floor, and you're like, what happened to that scene?
I think the worst one was Mars Attack, and I remember there was all these scenes in the trailer that I wanted, and not one of them was in the damn movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got the PDFs. You got issue 1 for $5, but then you got issue
those wonderful
3.
banners there. They're such
Yeah,
nice
that looks amazing.
Paul did my banners.
And then you got issue 1 right here.
I got to bounce. Paul, thanks for having me out.
Thank you,
Marissa,
Doc.
congratulations again.
Thank you.
Dylan, you are the supreme ruler of the universe. So do a good job with it. Peace out.
Bye.
They're on, Doc.
And you got a $15 for that special variant issue of number 2 right there.
Which you made me put in there, and people have bought it. So
yeah, I'm telling you, with having a special artist come in for a variant issue, that's definitely a good thing. Having issue 1 through 3, the physical, for only $27 for all 3 of those. And not only do you get all 3 of those, but you get a sticker, a campaign button, a keychain, and an exclusive downloaded song. You are throwing so much into these bundles.
I get yelled at all the time. Laurie especially yells at me. Stop putting so much in there. It's like,
Laurie.
I want to...
So much in these bundles.
I yell at you all the time.
Oh.
I yell at you all the time.
Yeah.
I gotta say this. Look, Laurie, you're lucky I'm a nice guy.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this shirt on real quick. Please don't put me in the studio. He was like,
I could have pulled her up while she was throwing the shirt on and made it look like she was, you know what I mean?
But I mean, Carissa says my name and then I appear. How magical is that?
That's how it should be.
That's the way it should be.
Just remember, everybody, I'm a gentleman.
She always yells at me by how much I put in one. She's like, "You have too much stuff in there." I was like, "It's okay."
So much in these bundles.
I'm just like, holy crap.
That's what you need to let people know. You got this $55 bundle with issues 1 through 3, plus the variant, plus all these goodies: the stickers, the keychain, the button. I mean, it's just so much that they can get for this reasonable price of all this stuff. And what I tell you to tell people about are the items like the Anubis right here. Choose between gold and black, and then you get this bundle right here with the plushie. Yeah, I mean, you got to let people know about this stuff because not every campaign has these unique items.
I know. It was so funny because I said to somebody, I don't know if you know Sam Carter from Final Boy, but he said, "How are you at 1664?" I was like, "Somebody bought my plushies." It's like, "Do I need to get plushies?" I was like, "You need plushies."
Uh-huh.
I think everybody needs plushies.
I love plushies. I don't even know how that started. I think I met the chick at the con. I was like, "You make plushies?" She's like, "Yes." I was like, "Make me a plushie."
Yeah, and it's a great way. That's what I tell people. Cons are great for meeting people. I've had so many like small items that I picked up for my campaigns from cons because the unique stuff that you see there is great. And here you have like handcrafted items right here, and this Anubis right here. This is amazing.
It's a kick-ass Anubis. Yes.
And one of the things that I really want to highlight and tell people about is this first stretch goal that you have opened up has such amazing comics inside of it.
Oh.
I wonder where all these comics came from. Look at that. Path of the Pale Rider. Man,
I love them all.
That's worth getting, something from this
everybody
campaign. Yeah.
Everyone.
Look, hold up. One of those, I believe, is inside this package.
Yeah.
Woo! One.
Yeah, right there. Look.
Hold up. I will tell you which one. It is.
Final Boy. Avalon. Oh,
Yeah.
it's the Avalon team.
Oh,
How did you
Avalon
get
team.
yours before I got mine? Oh, Brandon, if you're watching, I'm mad. Where's my comic, zombie bro?
So my dinner just arrived,
By the way, never mind. I'll save that for another.
But yeah,
So
Brandon,
much.
I think we're going to try to
just
get him
I'll
on
save
here
it.
tomorrow night.
So much.
Try
So
to
much
get him on here
amazing
tomorrow
stuff.
night and open that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably open that other thing up that I got from Doran at the same time. So
So much. Look at that. Stretch goals unlocked right there, and you got the next stretch goal that's going to be not too long.
Physical
With
item,
that
poster
8
print,
by
special
11.
8 by
Yeah.
11 glossy. Woo-hoo-hoo.
So
Actually, it's
this-
8x5. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Oh well. Well, it's
It's
bigger.
okay. We'll fix it.
Better than smaller, I suppose.
But this is the thing. People need to go back it. Make sure to get that next stretch goal opened up. We got that first stretch goal that's got such amazing work in it. But you have so much in each and every tier that everybody definitely should take a look and see
No
what's on the
excuses.
campaign. Yeah.
And buy more PDFs.
People love those PDFs, man.
Yeah.
I was just fulfilling some digital rewards, and I was like, this guy got like 6 PDFs attached to one email. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I have a lot of people got the $10 one, and they get 6 PDFs because they get the black and white version
Yeah.
and the color version. So it's pretty good for $10, I suppose.
That's
Great.
insane for
It
$10.
is great. No, I mean that's a great deal. Everybody should be, like I say, checking it out. And definitely at least $10. How many comics you get? The stretch goal gives you like 8 more.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot.
Just
Wow.
It's PDF Central.
Well, it does look like we're hitting the hour mark. If you want to go ahead and close this down, Pops, I think we did great. Carissa, do you have anything else to say? Do you want to tell people where to reach you?
Well, you can find this. Just search Worthy Chaos everywhere. Worthy Chaos, and I'm the only thing that pops up. So I guess I picked a good name. But Worthy Chaos in Kickstarter, Worthy Chaos in Twitter, Worthy Chaos and TikTok and Instagram. I don't really do anything on Instagram, but I'm there. And Facebook, because of Laurie dragged me on there. And now I have like 3,000 friends on my list. I went from like 8 people to 3,000. So
That's how it
And
goes.
Laurie, let people know where they can check you out, changing shirts
Me?
and all that good stuff.
They want to check you out.
I just kind of like showed up at the very end, last 5 minutes.
And still let them know where you're at.
All right. Well, peoples, I am Laurie Calcaterra. I'm the writer-creator of Path of the Pale Rider, which is a Western apocalypse with zombies.
Ever.
And undead bears and all sorts of crazy stuff, conspiracy theories. You can find me on Facebook, Laurie Calcaterra, or you can just look up Path of the Pale Rider. I have a group that's a lot of fun that we play trivia and we do interactive stuff. You can find me on Instagram at path_of_the blah blah. You get the point. It's Path of the Pale Rider with underscores, and it's the same handle for TikTok. I'm also on Twitter. It's at Path Pale Rider. Website is www.pathofthepalerider.com. It's all Path of the Pale Rider. You will find us.
I'm going to play all of our guests' ads on the way out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
Dylan, you got anything? Can we catch you anywhere?
Walking.
Best answer I've heard.
Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. I'm glad y'all did. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Bye. Thanks.
peace.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz
how to drive.
hands. Jazz hands and done.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we